Hey guys, this is the Anythingers podcast with your host, Glass Bass and Casey Q, where we discuss, anything.
Hey there, guys. We're back. Hi.
Welcome back to the Anythingers podcast, and this is your host, Glass Bass, and here she is, KCQ.
Yeah, KCQ in the house. We got Glass Bass. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing Birdemic. If anybody's heard of it, then congratulations. If you haven't, maybe that's best for you. I don't know. But it is quite the conundrum to watch.
This movie, I've heard of it. I've heard of it. Legend. It was like the holy grail in terms of really like just bad movies. Just like it wasn't even a B movie. It wasn't even a C movie. It wasn't even a D movie. It was like worst thing in C movie. It's like it's notoriety. It's so bad. I figured, oh come on, the movie can't be that bad. So I went out of my end to the end of the earth to get me like basically there are two movies. First of all, there's one called Birdemic, Shocking Terror, and then the second one called Birdemic 2, Resurrection, or whatever. And in my opinion, out of these movies, the first one was better, but you have to understand that better as in quote unquote better, because they're really crappy. I don't even think the word crappy even defines the level of
This movie came out. When did this come out? This came out February 27th, 2010. So it wasn't that long ago that it came out, and it literally looks like it was filmed in the 80s. Like it was absolutely god awful horrible. But we're gonna be discussing on just how fucking insane, like, because there's two movies, how fucking insane these movies are, especially the second one. I'm gonna get into that later. But like right now, let's just focus on the first one and just unpack it, because I have so much shit to say. I have so much shit to say and so much shit to discuss. It is absolutely fucking bonkers. Like I don't know where to begin.
We have taken the pain and the torture and the slight laughter here and there in actually watching two Birdemic movies straight to straight, first one and the second one. So we are very ready at this point to pick apart. Well, like literally pick apart. Like okay, not to mention the birds. Like, have you seen the birds? The
birds look.
They're flying ships. They're flying DJI ships. Like
the birds literally look like they copy and pasted them from somewhere and put together, and then they just like pasted it in the movie. Like there was no expert editing in this movie, absolutely none whatsoever, because there was a very large portion of the movie, like the audio was actually just terrible. Like audio in a movie
don't even get me started. Like you can tell they didn't do audio cuts smoothly, like at all. Like you can tell they were switching from like one tune to another. When the guy was on the phone, there's no like background noise, and then they switch to the other scene, boom, background noise up the air. It was so. And
when you're watching a scene from the movie, like the part where the two are on the beach, it's a nice like scene, like how background and shit, like they got that down. But the part where it was like the audio still, it was shit. The part when they're walking on the beach, she says something to the guy. She turns her head, talks to this guy. All of a sudden, the fucking audio cuts out, and then like the picture, it goes black, and then it's another, and then she's talking about something else, and then like and then now it's birds. Like I didn't understand that. Like the cuts were so
I think at one point or another there was actually no audio for like 2 seconds. Like
Yeah, like the beginning of the movie, he sits down in the restaurant and he looks at the waiter and like she's like, "Oh, would you like a menu?" And then like the audio when she's talking, it's like it gets so loud, and I don't know where that comes from. It's like, "Oh, would you like a menu?" And then it's like, "Okay," and then like it's weird. It was so weird.
Not to mention
Just weird.
Not to mention the supposed romantic relationship of actually that's another problem with this movie. I don't even care about the characters. It was so bad that I don't even know what the plot was. Like the first movie barely had a plot that we could follow, and the second one was even worse.
It's like the first one was, okay, this man meets this girl who is an aspiring model and wants to do all this shit with modeling. And then meanwhile, there's a huge like worldwide epidemic with these birds and they're killing people and people are shooting at them and whatever. And then I don't know, they kind of get some advice from a ornithologist or something, or birdologist, I don't know.
Going and get me started on the shooting. And what, like, you know how you see a regular movie and you actually see like gunshot like actually come out of a barrel of a rifle or a pistol? It's the actual gun firing. It gifted on just like the bird. They just pasted over like a gif of like a barrel, like you know what I'm talking about when you fire a gun, except it looked like a gif.
Exactly. The like obviously these were like play guns, and the way they were shooting them, they just, I don't know, they weren't like actually shooting them or something. Like
they're not even aiming the freaking pistol. They're not even like
they're not aiming at the birds that they want to shoot. They're just like they're just like fucking blindly shooting in the air at these like birds, and hopefully a bullet like fucking takes one down. Like that is
Not to mention, I think there was like the girl and the guy. Actually, I'm gonna call them girl and guy. The actual the romantic girl and guy, whatever. They were like in bed. They were making out or whatever. And then the GIF bird. That's it. I'm gonna call the bird GIF bird because that's what they are. They're GIF. They're GIFs. The flying GIF birds. Anyway, the point was, you have these flying GIF birds coming to attack this apartment. I think it was a motel. I don't even know at this point. And
yeah, it was like a motel, which I don't understand why he went to a motel, because the company that he was working for apparently had made like the offer was like $1 million, and then he said, you know, I want to make my own green tag company, and then like somebody offered them $1 million, like, so he should be getting paid up the ass. And he goes to a motel. Like, he has a nice house. Like, I don't know why he didn't take her to his house. Like, he took her to a shitty fucking hole-in-the-wall motel. He has a nice house and a nice car. He has nice things, and he takes her to a motel. Like, if I had a nice house and I was interested in a girl and we went, you know, out, and obviously we were feeling each other and we want to sleep together, like, I wouldn't take her to a motel. It's just kind of stupid.
Not even mention why coat hangers? Why? I
think that's the only thing that they had on hand.
What there was like a group of like 4 people or 5 people at this point, including the romantic girl and guy or whatever.
I think that's the only thing that they had on hand, though. And then all of a sudden they discover that they have guns. It's like, I don't get that. Like, they have coat hangers because that's the only thing that they could actually supplement to fucking, you know, kill these birds or whatever they're doing to these gift birds or whatever you want to call them. But then, like, they magically come up with, like, fucking AK-47s and fucking, like, fucking handguns and shit. And I don't know where the fuck that came from. Like, the coat hangers made more sense. But the guns...
The guns? Oh god, not the guns. They look like Star Wars guns.
They magically appeared.
The pistol, it didn't even look like it looked like some crappy Star Wars knockoff.
And they were shooting at these birds. I'm like air quoting it, but like they're shooting at these birds, and it's like fucking infinity bullets or something. They're shooting very persistently and very heavily into the air, and I don't know how many bullets they use. And they had they did not run out of bullets until probably 30 minutes left of the movie. Like, shit, we don't have more bullets.
Yeah, they never reloaded, not even once. They
Never not once.
reloaded. I never seen them once change the freaking magazine on the M16 rifle that they had in the movie. It was like, I'm not kidding. I think they shot more than like 30 bullets. Is that thing like infinite? Like, seriously.
I think they had an infinite bullet gun because like they did not reload. They didn't take any bullets with them. They were just, straight blindly shooting into the air without.
Hold up. What did you mean any spent casing? Can you even see any spent casing coming out of a gun? Did we even see that? No, they're like, wait. There's no spent casing. They shot the rifle, and there was no like brass casing coming out of it. Like,
Of course it was. I mean, it was all like just like put in there. They didn't bother to actually make it seem like the actual gun is shooting. They just put sounds in there to simulate like the illusion that they're actually shooting at the birds, which didn't really work out.
Let me reiterate. They were shooting at the birds, but the shooting effect was jiffing on, and not to mention, hold on. So the gun they were shooting, it was jiffing on, not the gun, but like the way it fired. And it didn't eject any shell at all, and they weren't even aiming it like you were supposed to aim a gun. They were shooting it like someone shoved a hamster up their ass.
Basically. Where did the hamster up the ass come from?
That's what they look. No, seriously. Have you seen them shooting? That's what it looked like. They can't even shoot straight. Try shooting at a fucking bird when you have like a gerbil or a hamster up your ass. Like. That's what they look like. I
mean, like, if you have a gun and there's a hamster up your asshole, I don't think you're shooting in the air like that. I think your main mission or your main objective is to get the hamster out of your asshole to prevent them from biting anything or from you dying because they buried themselves into your asshole too far. But
it's a metaphorical expression, but like. You get the idea. That's what they look like. Like you get the feeling of having a hamster going at your anal hole, and it's like that's what they look like.
And now I kind of want to get into the second movie. Now the first movie I liked.
You like the first movie?
I didn't. I like the first one. I'm not saying it deserves an Academy Award because, like, some people they're like, "Oh, you like that? Oh man, that was a shitty movie." Like, some people think like I'm saying like, "Oh man, that movie was great. It deserves a fucking Oscar." I'm not saying that. I'm saying I like the movie, and borderline loved it, not because of any kind of shit.
You loved it because it was so terrible that it was just like...
I loved it because it was so funny and because legitly, like, the movie had something going in it during the plot. Like, they were trying in the plot of the first movie. Like, you could tell what was going on even though it was, like, really just corny and bad and whatever. I mean, like, you got the gist of most things. The chick is trying to be a model. The guy wants to do this. There's birds and they're attacking people. And it's kind of just like a whole chaos with that. And then like they get a happy ending. And then like I'm like, okay, well I kind of got understood what was going on, even though the direction of the whole movie was shit. And they still didn't try to fix the shittiness of the second movie. I thought they would try harder in the second movie. They didn't. And matter of fact, it got way worse. It was worse than the first movie. I don't know how that possibly could be that the second movie was worse.
Can we even mention that the fact that the first movie, at least, it had a somewhat a semblance of a plot, a semblance of like you know what's going on. Like I think I know what was going on in the first movie. It was two girls. No, it was one. Okay, it was a guy and a girl. They were like, at least I think I know what's going on. At least the first movie did that. The second movie threw that out the window because now there's like tar pits and apparently there's acid rain and acid rain to a tar pit and the next thing I know there's birds flying out of a tar pit and for some reason there's a caveman and a cave woman came out of a tar pit and we didn't even...
Those fucking cavemen didn't, like, they did not provide any kind of plot or any kind of fucking context to anything in the movie. Like, they just kind of like came out of nowhere. And then the zombie. Can we talk about the zombies? Like,
Yes. And I had to come up with maybe a plausible reason for why there's zombies in a Birdemic movie. I'm gonna say the bird had zombie virus in their shit, and I think the bird shot on the grave. And I don't know, like at this point, like oh god.
So I'm trying to. Okay, so let's assume that the blood rain is from the birds, and the blood rain is infected, and this infected bird blood is just freaking is absorbed by like the soil of the grass and everything below it, cause the dead to come back.
And they didn't even animate the they didn't even look no like okay, first of all let's talk about how they railroad McGregor in the movie. Let's talk about that, okay? Like you see in other movies where they actually come out of fucking dirt, like they actually claw out of the ground, right? They didn't even do that in this movie. They did.
I mean,
but like
I think it was like one person who like actually like kind of rose out of the ground, but not in a graphic way like a real zombie movie would, because this movie was shit. So
this one zombie, the way he climbed out, it was more like he was climbing out of the bottom of your screen. It was like they copy pasted this guy and he's climbing out of the bottom of your screen. Not the dirt, not the ground, your fucking screen.
This movie came out on April 16th, 2013. So this movie came out about 3 years after the first movie did, and still bothers to be probably more shitty than the first one. And I don't understand why it is. Like the zombies.
The budget. Oh
so
yeah,
like
the budget.
I really wanna I wanna address like the and the budget. Like it was
$10,000 for the first one.
So like the second one, how much did they make? Or how much
I
did
don't
it
even know.
take?
Maybe they had the same budget. Maybe it was $50,000. Who knows?
I mean, it couldn't have been more than the first one because Jesus Christ. So the funding was eventually closed with only roughly $600 out of the desired $500 raised. Like they wanted to make a third movie.
Wait, there's a third Birdemic? Please God, no. God has pushed something out.
So they wanted to make a third movie in 2016 on Indiegogo, but nobody was actually willing to fund that, and they only raised $600 out of the $500 that they wanted.
They actually had an Indiegogo. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, to make the third movie.
Wow. Just wow.
Nobody's gonna fund that shit. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. I mean, they could try to do a fucking Kickstarter or something. Try to get that, or Patreon.
I mean,
but I don't
think Can we keep talking about the second movie? It's just keep getting weirder, like with the characters. Like I don't even know what the hell happened at the ending. I don't even know why. It looked like at one point they were like shooting. It looked like they were shooting porn. Like you can see naked tits in it.
It did. I mentioned while we were watching the second movie. I mentioned that watching the second movie was watching like watching a softcore porn because it was the shot of it, like the way it was filmed and the way the women were dressed. It just kind of gave off that softcore porn vibe. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
it was
like,
weird.
There was like these three women. They're like completely naked from the top, and they just like getting ready to be filmed.
I mean, they weren't. Were they naked? I don't think they. No, like there was these three women in the locker room. They weren't completely naked, but they were like about to get naked, and like they all had their shirts off. Yeah. And they were talking and giggling and shit, and then like it was just I didn't understand why that was there. Like maybe they were on the set of another movie or something because they were on a set or like while the birds came. The birds came out of nowhere. The birds came into the fucking movie set and started fucking shit up and killing people. And I don't know how the fuck did they get in? Was there a window open?
But think of a woman. Think of a woman there to defend the birds.
The guy didn't. And then the woman with who was in the cowboy getup, and I was like, really? I mean, like she could have been shooting another movie as the reason why she was dressed like that. I don't know, but if she was dressed like that normally, I don't know. It just seemed like a softcore porn. Like I was waiting for somebody to get, like I was waiting for a chick to get fucked. I was waiting for some bad shit to happen. I wonder if the director of these two movies was a porn director because
not to mention, like, there was a cowboy girl. Like, okay, so there was a group of people. We don't even know what they're doing. They just run around all over the place, and they stumble upon this house, and there was this really hot-looking girl in the cowboy getup. Like, have you seen her shorts? And what? I don't even know what's going on.
Like I said, I think it was. I think like because like they were on the set and they just got out of the set and then they go running outside and then they see this cabin. Either she was actually dressed like that or she was on a film or she was on a shoot of a film or some shit and they asked her to dress like that. I don't know, but just the fact that she was dressed like that, it just gave me my reasons on why I think this is a softcore porn.
Not to mention, it was like as if the bird guys were attacking the gay, everybody's shooting like apparently softcore porn. Apparently, everybody was shooting porn, and the bird attacked in this movie. Like
apparently. God, and like the first girl in the first movie, like she was undeniably one of the worst actors in that movie. But like the main character girl in the second movie, she had long blonde hair, happened to be. I happen to hate her worse than the first girl in the first movie.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like this, like the way that she was written, the way that she said shit was just like so fucking undeniably just condescending and mean. Like she was like so this she meets this dude and he's supposed to be like this big Hollywood director. Apparently, I put air quotes around that. And apparently he's this big Hollywood director and he wants to feature her in a fucking film. And she's like, oh, yeah, I want to be in this film and I'm going to get the top role and all of this shit after she said she was going to fucking go back home because she wasn't getting the work that she wanted. Honey, you're in fucking Hollywood. That's how it works. Like, nobody said it was going to be easy trying to get a gig or get work in Hollywood. Like, that, it's just like... common sense would tell you that you're just not gonna get anything that you hope for while you're in Hollywood. It just doesn't work like that.
Locally speaking, only very few people made it in Hollywood for a reason. Like
exactly, like they were just supremely talented, and they got to, be in Hollywood. But like you got to be good. Like you can't just go there and be just like any kind of like small actor or whatever. But like this girl, like she was just so mean, and like when she got the role that her boyfriend gave her, and the girl did it, and the other girl didn't get it. She was just so mean. She was just like, yeah, I got the first role, blah, blah, blah. And she was just such a bitch. Like, I hated her.
Let's mention about how they fought the bird. In two different parts of the movie, it looked like a duel, right? They went into a town, birds started attacking, and the next thing I see, they gave a kung fu kick. Like,
they did do a kung fu kick. And I don't know where that kung fu kick came from. That was absolutely the most beautifulest kung fu kick I've ever seen. You get this Asian dude and he's swinging around a fucking bat or a pipe or some shit, and like then they do the same thing again where the dude is swinging the pipe when he's swinging the pipe around like he's in a fucking Jet Li movie, and the other dude like gives another kung fu kick.
Yes, a kung fu kick. It was also effective against flying birds, flying invisible GIF birds. Wait, they're not invisible, but they are because they're GIFs. Kung Fu against GIF birds. GIFs.
Oh my god. They were GIF birds. I think like they tried to make the birds look slightly better than they did in the first one.
But it doesn't matter.
But they still managed to be completely bullshit. It still looks like shit, but they at least like I could tell by the detailing of the birds from the first one in the second one. Like the first ones look like parrots or look like parrots that were attacking people.
Oh
like
wait. Oh yeah, there was a gif in the first movie where there was a girl or a lady or whatever. She was gonna take it. No, I'm not kidding. She was gonna take a shit in the bush or something, and then a bird attacked her. I don't know, like
the bird just like swooped in and attacked her cheek. Like that's another thing I want to mention is the majority of these people, like the chick that was trying to take a shit and died from it. I want to address that these birds that are swooping in attacking people, they're not like clawing out their throat or anything. They're literally leaving like a laceration around their neck and their cheek, and that's it. And that's how these people die, unless their talons are infected with like fucking microbes or something, or like some kind of disease, or they're just infected. Like I would want to know that because it was just like a really like a surface laceration. Unless they went really deep in there, I don't know. These things that I want to know.
Get the wound look even good. Like at best, it would be movie best.
They died from cheek wounds. Like I don't understand. Oh my god, they died of cheek wounds, and and also the makeup in the first one was way better than the second one. I'm giving the first movie a lot of props. I am, because I really think that they tried in the first one. They did not fucking try in the second one. Not with the makeup. The zombies look too fresh. These look like actual people that had dirt on their face and like some fucking like black oil paint on their face. They look too fresh. Like when you want a zombie, it has to look dead. It has to look decomposed. Like these, like the one chick zombie, she looked all fucking like pink and shit. Like they didn't try. They didn't try. The makeup looked too bad.
You think they even tried? We didn't even get an ending. Like we kind of got an ending.
No, that ending was weird. It left a lot of questions, and I wasn't really sure when. Like the ending. Okay, so it ended. They went to some motel, and these birds are coming out of the woodwork. Like these fucking birds are fucking surrounding them. They go to this motel. I'm thinking that they're going to go to this motel to find sanctuary, that they are going to barricade themselves in a hotel room or some shit, and they're going to stay there until the birds calm the fuck down. No, that's not what happens. They are getting fucking attacked by these chaotic fucking crazy birds, and then one of the dudes dies. The Asian guy dies. He literally walks into the pool area, falls into the pool, and dies. And that is how the fucking movie
I was like, is he a bad guy? Get that guy who got in the pool. Is he bad? I don't know what's going on.
No, the dude was with them the whole time. Like, he was the dude that was swinging the pipe when the kung fu kick occurred. Like, he was a dude, like, he was with the group, and he died. And then, like, all of a sudden, that scene cuts to the Hollywood sign, and the fucking camera's focusing on the Hollywood sign, and these birds, it literally takes 5 minutes for these birds and for the credits to come in and actually end the actual movie officially. Like, we are focusing on the Hollywood sign and these birds flying away for 5 minutes. For 5 goddamn minutes.
That's right.
For 5 fucking minutes.
5 minutes. Like, you have to understand, we're literally watching GIFs. Like, actually, yeah. That's what it is.
They are not moving. It does not look like that they're, like, moving away. It looks like they're moving probably like a tiny fraction of the inch away from the actual area, like, that they're flying away from. Like, they barely even move. Like, they just look like they're suspending in midair. They just look like they're just flapping their wings, just right there, whatever the fuck. Then the fucking credits come, and everybody's name comes, and I'm like, that's it? That's it? That's fucking it? What?
That's it? That's it, truly. Did you even mention the caveman and cavewoman fight? Like, what was that about?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Like, the beginning of the movie, these cave people, like, I remember when it was a conversation that somebody was having where, like, the scientist guy from the first one appeared in this movie, too, at the La Brea tar pits. This is where all the shit happened, guys. The La Brea tar pits.
Yes, it all came from a tar pit. You heard it here for the tar pits.
It came from the La Brea fucking tar pits. So anyway, the science guy is telling them about a story or history about, like, fucking cavemen fucking each other. Like, the cavemen were fucking each other in, like, this fucking history flashback that he's having. And then, like, birds come out of nowhere and kill them.
They were 10,000 years ago, the cave.
10,000 years ago. And then, like, the fucking cave people are fucking each other. And then the birds come and kill them. And apparently the blood from the sky comes down and resurrects their bodies. Because their bodies were trapped in the tar of the La Brea tar pits.
The acid rain into the tar pits. Then birds are flying out. Like, okay. And then the cave people below the ground of the tar pit. Let's talk about the cave people for a second. They don't even look dead. They don't even, like, they look like they're wearing cave costumes or some shit. It's like...
I mean, because I think they were, like, they're not, like, zombies. I think they were just, like, brought back to life. I mean, like, a zombie is a reanimated corpse. Like, I don't know if they died, but, like, they came back, they
ran around, and then the group of people, like, so there's the main group of people, they were in a van, or a bus, it was some crappy van, whatever, and then they found these cave people walking on the sidewalk, like, and they decided, let's go get them, let's save them. I'm like, okay, go ahead, and then the next thing you know, the cave people beating the crap out of 2 of these people, and it looked more like they were play slapping than beating. Have you seen how they use the rocks? Like, like it wasn't even brutal beating at all. It looked like they were like play. What's the word? I can't explain it. It was like
it's like play fighting.
Yeah. They weren't even beating that hard. It wasn't even like they're actually punching the face. It was like they're the cave woman was on top of it, other dude, and they were just play punching, play whatever. Eventually, the other member of the other group came in and they whacked him across the face with a crowbar. What did they whack him with? I don't even know at this point. It was like
I have no idea.
fake blood effect.
The part where the cavemen came, like when the fucking blood rain was raining from the sky and resurrected these two cave people, and then they were nowhere to be found throughout the movie. Probably almost when the movie was ending, the cave people came out of nowhere and was like, yeah, guest appearance with cave people. It was, and then they started beating them up. Like, weird. They didn't even come back after that. Like the second part, like the second time that they came back, like they didn't even come back. Like, what was the point of it? Like,
the cave people. Like, what?
I want to know where the blood came from. Was this the bird's blood, or was God just fucking angry and just wanted to make blood rain? I don't understand how that came to be, where the blood came from, and how come nobody was freaked out about it, or nobody saw it? Nobody was like, "Oh shit, there's blood rain," you know?
No, it was acid and blood rain. Did they say blood, or did they say it was acid?
I don't know, honestly. I don't think they even brought that part up, whether it was acid rain. It didn't look like... I don't know what acid looks like. If it was acid, then that makes less sense. I don't know. It looked like blood. I think it was blood. It looked like blood. It was red.
It wasn't even... It was red. It was blood, okay? It was no mistaking it. It was just...
It didn't even look like rain. It actually looked like giant blood platelets raining from the sky. It didn't even look like droplets.
It was like Dracula, just like... I don't even know what the hell... It was just... Like,
I absolutely have no idea what the second movie was trying to do, where they were going with it, and how it possibly, like, I don't know how. Just
do you know anything? Do you question your sanity after watching this movie? Is what I want.
I question the director's whole mode of making this movie. Like, how did he want this movie to turn out? Like, was he expecting this movie to just be like the best thing? Like, he didn't try. He try.
He poured his heart and soul into it. You don't give me that. They tried.
I mean, like, I could honestly say in the first movie, I could tell that whatever was being brought into this movie, like, I could tell that they kind of tried their best with what they had. I mean, like, obviously you can't really do much with $10,000 in a actual, like, production of a film. Like, there's not really much you can do besides, like, get a couple of people with some cameras and then, like, edit it yourself. Like, because you can't afford to get, like, a whole fucking editing team and animators and shit, because you don't have the budget for it.
I think, but, like, to be honest, they had it with like Wing a Movie Maker at this point. Seriously, they did. Like, I could
feel like the amount of tryingness that they did in the first one. In the second one, I could tell it was just like, all right, we're just gonna make a second movie, and it was just like complete and utter shit. Like, I wanted to vomit at how bad and horrendous this movie was. This movie had no business being a sequel. It was terrible. What were you thinking?
That's a good question. You think the director think he can do a better job for the second time, or was he drunk off the notoriety or the infamy? Like, okay, honestly, so what do you think of the movie The Room? Like, does that look like The Godfather in comparison to this? Like, seriously.
The Room?
Remember the movie The Room?
Which one?
The Room.
The Room.
Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, Tommy Wiseau. Oh, that one. Okay, like, God, I don't even want to. Fuck. Now that movie was okay. So obviously, I think Tommy Wiseau apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently he put like $1 million into this movie. I don't know. Honestly,
It had the production value. Look at it. That was
honestly, it had a better budget, and they were obviously you could tell the production values were way higher than Birdemic. It came out a little bit earlier than Birdemic, but still, The Room was way better produced. Not saying the acting was better. The acting was atrocious in both movies.
but
it was a little slightly better than fucking Birdemic.
No, Birdemic, the second one, makes the Tommy Wiseau The Room look like The Godfather.
The fucking Room was actually, it was the fucking Scarface compared to fucking Birdemic. This movie had, The Room, watching it, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So when I watched it, I was sitting there and I was like, this is fucking gold. I can see why people rave about this movie and say it's the worst movie ever. I can see why the people say that. I don't consider it the worst movie ever. I actually think it's a great movie. It's hilariously bad. And I forever love it.
God help us all. God help our immortal soul for even watching Birdemic. It was bad enough watching the first one, but I think our soul is well and truly forever damned for even watching two of them in a row.
I was low key going to tell you to stop playing the second movie because I was legitimately getting bored. I was going to just give up and say I can't do this anymore. I'm done with life.
But you sold it on. You had the.
But I bucked the fuck up and watched the rest of the movie. I really wanted to stop watching the second movie. Really, I really was. So I was really very tempted to just tell you hey, this isn't working. I can't watch this. This is that bad. Where I'm I gotta walk out. I've been to some movies where I've seen people just walk right the fuck out of the movie theater.
Oh my God. Oh, that's true. I mean, I walk out of John Carter on Mars, and I walk out of a dancing movie, and in hindsight,
I think I know which one you're talking about. I love that movie. It was Step Up. Step Up was great.
Yeah, okay. But the point was, I paid money to go to these movie theaters, and I walk out of them. But the fact is, we watched literally the worst movie.
It's because you don't know how bad or good the movie is going to be until you actually see it. And when it's actually bad, you either suck it the fuck up and you watch it because you're getting your money's worth, or you just well, fuck it, throw caution to the wind and walk out because you're actually legitimately disappointed. And for me, I've seen bad movies in a movie theater and was I can't walk out because I feel like I'm wasting money. I can't wait. I paid $20 and I paid almost $30 plus getting popcorn and snacks and shit. So I paid almost $30 to come to the movie theaters and watch this movie. I can't just walk out. I gotta sit here and fucking soldier on and watch the fucking movie. Otherwise, I feel like a piece of shit.
Honestly, I think, no, you have to admit, these movies may be the worst movie ever made, but they had a charm to it. They had that notorious, they had a sweet smell to it, if you will. I walk out of John Carter because they had all that budget. They had $300 million to make that movie, and it had no soul. But at least with Birdemic, at least it was funny. unintended comedy. At least it was funny.
I think they really intended for this movie to be good, to be better than what it was. And because of that seriousness and them trying to make it to where like it's good, it's not good. And then that's what makes people just like judge it. And that's why it's a bad movie, because they took it as something that's actually good. Like it looks like they're actually seriously trying to do this shit. Like, and that's what makes it so good and bad at the same time.
What is that word? Is there even a word to describe it? Is there even a word to describe a movie that's so bad, and yet it is a good movie in its own twisted charm? Yes, I'm talking about Birdemic. It's actually a good movie, like the first one at least. Like
The first one was actually kind of an entertaining thing. If you take away all of the bad acting, the bad production, the fucking terrible audio, the fucking shaky cameras, the children, and everything else, then you're left with an actually entertaining movie that's fun for the whole fucking family.
I'm just saying, at least we laugh at it. At least we have fun with the movie. You can't like it was a 10 grand budget movie. It wasn't bad, but like we had fun with it. We laughed at it. It entertained us. It entertained us in its sheer in aptitude that it somehow extended itself. The movie has extended into its own tier. Like, what's the word? It's not even a bad movie at this point. It's like something else. It went to heaven or something.
It went to heaven. It went to heaven, and then they denied them entrance to heaven, and then they went to hell, and then they denied them into hell, and then they went to limbo, and limbo was like, welcome, bitch. And then now the fucking movie is sitting in limbo. And that's the only place where they were accepted. But like, I lastly want to talk about the children, because the children were the fucking like the epitome of my rage during the whole movie. I hated these children for two reasons. One, for the fact that these children are children. If you're gonna put children in the movie, make sure that the children know how to act. These children look like they were just pulled off of it's out of somebody's car, and then the people were like, okay, if you just say these couple of lines, if you're in this movie, like if you just say these couple of lines, we'll give you candy or some shit. That's how these children were acting. Like they were gonna get they were gonna get like, they were gonna get candy. They were gonna get reimbursed for their time.
Good
But
God. Good.
and the second reason why I did not like the children is because they were little fucking brats, and all they did was complain. And like that's what kids kind of do, but like these kids were like so ungrateful. After their parents died, these people came to fucking save them and feed them, and then they're like, oh man, we're so tired and we're so hungry, we want Happy Meals. Bitch, do you see a fucking do you see a fucking McDonald's in any fucking distance or like fucking radius around you? No, there's no McDonald's or anything. You like, we're in the bird apocalypse or some shit, and you're asking like, I want a fucking like Happy Meal or some shit. And apparently the sister died, which I was confused. Like I don't like she died because they ate like fucking fish.
Good God.
Like they.
Do you think
like,
it's very
when they-
rare? It's very rare that one movie can get us to talk this much about it, and that's an achievement.
It was so bad and good at the same time, where a person can write a fucking 10-page paper on why Birdemic is so fucking bad. It gives you that fucking much material that you can work with to make a fucking paper out of. You can make a documentary on this shit, honestly. You can. Somebody do this. Somebody make a fucking fucking you could just you can do a lot of shit with this. You can make a movie, you can make a documentary.
You can make entire Netflix documentaries about this. Why was it a thing? And in fact, they get it. Vice, there was a site called Vice, and they get a whole series about how Birdemic was made in the first place. Yeah, they get it, but they should be.
I actually want to do that one day, where I want to sit down with the director of fucking Birdemic, and I don't think this would happen mainly because like I am fucking shitting on the movie, but I'm also giving it praise. So like I don't know, like I want to sit down with the director of the fucking movie and just pick his brain. I want to know what he was thinking when he made this and how it came to be.
Okay, so keep in mind the director had no filmmaking experience, but he loved Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds. So that gives you
like I want to know like if he's like I don't know, like I want to know if his like, because obviously from the first movie to the second movie the production values did not increase, they stayed the same.
Okay. I'll ask you this: what improved and what was worse in the second movie, honestly?
So lastly, want to go into what stayed, what was shitty. So what changed? So obviously in the second movie the birds looked more detailed. The birds looked more detailed.
They got better gifs.
And
they got better
gifts. They got better moving fucking pictures. They got better birds they got better fake birds. Another thing that changed from the first movie is that they got a bigger cast, I guess, because the cast in the first one was small. They got a bigger cast in the second one, so I guess that gets an A+. Things that didn't change is an actual just like a cohesive story. Like even though the first one did have a plot, it did have like kind of a story, it wasn't cohesive and it wasn't consistent. The second one, it didn't change. It was like it stayed stagnant through the whole thing.
I think the second only improved. Wait a minute, did it even improve at all? Well,
the second one didn't improve, in my opinion. Like I don't really think that they tried like they did in the first one. Like the first one, I could tell that they put their blood, sweat, and tears, or whatever the fuck they put, or they took some drugs. Like I don't know.
At least they spent that $10,000 with some effort. It was $10,000.
Yeah, they put some effort in it, even though this guy is obviously an amateur director and producer. The second one, I don't know what to tell you. Like maybe he got more people, and these people didn't know his style. Like I don't know, like what the reason was, why the movie was so much more shittier than this, like the first movie.
There was obviously way more quote unquote special effects, and we're not going to call it special effect because seriously they were that bad, quote unquote. But there were way more. You can't
call these these are far from fucking special effects at what this movie did. Like I don't even call that CGI. Like I call it just what you said, GIFs. They're just moving fucking pictures. So lastly, I want to give this movie 1.5 birds out of 10.
1.5 bird. Why are you giving it the extra 50% over one bird?
I want to give it 1.5 bird out of 10.
Okay, is that for the whole
franchise? I'm giving it 1.5 because even though these movies are very bad, it's a charm with them that is succinct, and like I could see why people would watch it just to laugh. Like it's a very enjoying, I enjoyed my time watching these movies. I enjoyed laughing at it. They were entertaining just for that fact. Like that's why I gave them that 1.5 stars, because like I felt like they deserve that in how much of an entertainment it was to watch. So that's why they gave him a 1.5 star.
Okay, so if you give it 1.5 bird to the first movie, what about the second one? Hmm?
I give like that. That's my overall rating for both of them. Like
Makes sense.
I don't like. There's no like for me. There I don't. There's no like two separate like ratings because like they were both very bad. So I don't like. I don't see. It's just like it's a whole, just like a whole stagnant line because like there was no changes from the first to the second. It remained bad from start to finish.
Good God. It was like, hey, you did a good job with Birdemic, or what you call it, a quote franchise, quote unquote. It even considered a franchise at that point.
It's like I was expecting too much in the second one. I was expecting a bigger budget, higher production values, better actors. Just like maybe these, like the previous actors got more training because God knows that they need it.
God help us all. And I think
But,
honestly, you should watch Birdemic just because.
I think everybody in the world should watch Birdemic and, you know, tell us how you feel about it. What was going through your head when you watched Birdemic? When did you watch Birdemic? Did you watch it recently? Did you watch it when it first came out? Like, how did you think it was? Did you think it was the greatest movie or did you think it was the worst movie ever made? Which I can argue.
Or rather, do you think it deserved its own category? It deserved its own, like, it's hard. Like we said, it was limbo. It had no place in heaven, had no place in hell, and
like I would honestly, if I had the funds for it, I would donate to probably raise money for their third film because I would want to see where they would take it.
what would you do if you want to do a third film? What would you do?
Like if I won the lottery and like I wanted to legitly help, I would want to help out their project for the third film because like they were trying to raise $500,000 and they only came up with 600. So like like I would want to raise, I would want to fund their project. I would want to fund their movie. I would be like, okay, well, like, I'll fund it and we'll see where it goes. But, like, I would fund more money for better actors, better, like, production team, and better fucking effects. Because that, like, the third one is going to be fucking booming than, like, the first two. Like, the first two is just like, okay. And then the second one is just like, all right, I see what you're trying to do, but it's not working. The third one, it will excel.
If there was an actual budget, if it was actually something to Birdemic, then yeah, we can see it being a decent B movie at least. At least.
Yeah.
It's in the same veins of let's say Snakes on a Plane or some other movie, like at least a good B movie if it had actual budget, if it had actual stuff to it. But
honestly, it would be my dream to interview the guy for this movie, like the director from this movie. That would be my dream. Like I legitimately want to do that. And that would be my dream come true. Because I really want to pick his brain and see what the fuck he was thinking when he made that. And just, how did he feel?
Everybody who watched this movie will always wonder what the hell the director was thinking when he was making it. And that's what everyone will wonder. And from what I've read around the internet, is that the director he liked Alfred Hitchcock, specifically the bird, like I mentioned before. So he tried doing that, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I could tell where it was trying to go with like the Birds movie, like Birds, like that movie, like the old one back from like the 60s or the 50s or whatever. That scared the shit out of me. Like for Birds to do that, but like I could see where, you know, where he got the inspiration. But yeah, it just didn't.
You? Oh, let's not mention about Stego crapping on you. That's like even worse.
I'm not talking about the Birds in this movie. The Birds didn't do shit for me in this. They made me laugh more than anything. I'm talking about the birds from the actual film Birds. Like that film scared the shit out of me, and they were very scary and very macabre, like kind of film. But like that's a discussion for another day.
But because that was actually a movie. That was actually with Alfred Hitchcock behind it.
But like my whole like brain just fried on this topic, and I think it's time for us to start closing it up here.
Yeah. Good job,
So,
Birdemic. You managed to make a talk for an hour, and we just hit the 1 hour mark. And very, very impressive. Whoever directed Birdemic, I think it was.
Congratulations for you.
Congratulations. You have made people talk about it. We have to give you claps and honor and give you a Raspberry Award.
Well, anyway, that's it for us. I'm gonna go cry into a sink, and we'll catch you guys next time.
We'll see you next time on the podcast.
Bye.